We're going to continue now with names of God, and this will be names of God number 6, and it will be in the seminary folder as usual. Well, this time we are going to go, as I say, off the track. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, we started with the Dake Bible on page 77, where he had 16 titles of God, and we were checking through those. Now, there is another section in the Dake Bible, which is on page 103, that happens to have 74, not 16, but 74 titles of God, the Father. Now, that is a long list, and we weren't even going to bother with that at all because we were dealing with the 16 names of God, which we haven't gone that far in already. But there was one particular thing in that list that I think is important that we take a side track to look at. And that is because of several important things that we will discover. And what we are looking at now is in the book of Genesis, and it is chapter 14. And if we go in the context of all of this, is again has to do with Abraham. So this is Abraham's rebellions that go against him and all the fighting that he had to deal with. And after his triumphant return from all these battles, this is when something happened that is very, very interesting, because it says in this section, Abraham's triumphant return. And that's what we have next in this section, what we're going to be reading. Now, Abraham's triumphant return from all his battles. And this has to do with someone who came to reward him and help him with his battles and so forth. And it says, Abraham's blessed by Melchizedek a new revelation. Now, that's what Dake says. Now, first of all, we are using that particular section and this off the path because of this one who is called Melchizedek. Now, we're going to take some time with that, but we're going to do more than that. Melchizedek himself, just that alone, is a very interesting character. And there has been debate and opinion ever since the Bible was put into the language which it could be read by most people on who or what Melchizedek was. And there are many reasons for that, which we will get to. But first, what we are going to do is just read a little bit about this one thing. Now, Dake, and he talks about Melchizedek, and I'm going to read that right here. He says, at this point, many idle stories and unscriptural interpretations have been given about Melchizedek, but the Bible states very simple facts about him which will give us a clear understanding of the subject, if we will limit ourselves to that in writing. And then it says, see Melchizedek, and so on, so on, so. Now, here's what it says. Now, he has a note here when you're reading about Melchizedek. Now, here's the verse we're dealing with. This is verse number 18. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abraham of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth, and blessed be the Most High God, which hath delivered thine enemies unto thy hand. And he gave him tithes of all. Now, then the king of Sodom said unto Abraham, give me the persons and take the goods to thyself, and so on and so forth. Now, that's the verse we're dealing with, verse 18 and 19 and 20. So you see what Melchizedek did, first of all. He blessed Abraham for his victory. But what did he also do? Bread and wine. And he also did tithing. Now, we aren't reading any of Dake's comments yet, but we will. But we're dealing with Melchizedek, and you will find out why when we continue with this off the path section.